Okay, so the main purpose of this video is for my own self-improvement, but I am recording it and intending to upload it just to give myself some sort of motivation to actually do this. But what I want to do here is look at a failed run, which is a 24 Necrotic Wake. I want to look specifically at my own performance as the Blood Death Knight, see where I can improve, things I did well, things I did poorly. I'm not especially interested in things that other people did right or did wrong. Like my survival hunter here is kind of a god, but I don't care, right? Like him being good doesn't make me any better. I entirely want to focus on myself. The areas I feel like I'm weak are CD usage. So I think I'm decently good at getting up playing at a dancing rune weapon, but sometimes it comes at a really stupid trade-off where I will try to heart strike to extend dancing rune weapon when I probably should death strike, and I'm unintentionally causing some healer stress. I think I'm really bad at blood boiling. I've been trying to work on that today when I've been running, and I've noticed my DPS has gone up. So those are things I want to keep an eye out for. And I know for a fact my IBF and vampiric blood usage are absolute doo-doo, and my tombstone usage is probably bad too. But regardless, stuff to look at in the middle of the run. So this pull here, because it's inspiring this week, I want to grab this mob just so that we can pull into the harvester without the harvester becoming uninterruptible. I then want to release this mob when the harvester dies and grab the pack of little runny boys that also have an inspiring mob and try and get them dealt with. Uh, Pulling the pack of six probably slows us down a little bit, but I think that's better than having it in with the boss and running the risk that like someone gets drained fluids right as the breath goes out. The breath hits the entire group, and everyone's like, "What the hell? What happened?" You know. So we'll see. Um, just thinking about this pull before I go into it, I'm not 100% sure what to do. So like, I know, like you can see my cursor here is on the control undead. So taking this first, definitely correct. But I think one of these mobs jumps behind me and gets into combat with one of these guys, and my blood boil misses. I also don't want to dancing rune weapon here because I know that I need to run forward to get to this pack to settle. So I'm not sure if maybe I should be rune tapping as I'm running past here to get something up. I definitely don't want to be vamp blooding here. I don't think, but we'll see. So control undead. Yeah, so this mob here, this is the one I'm talking about. I think it does actually have blood boil on it, although some chilling. And then my hunter is going to misdirect this pack over here to me because I don't want to run over there and get it. I probably should be D&Ding as I'm running into this pack. I don't need to worry about this pack over here. My priest is going to Shadow Word pin them so that they come in. So I probably should D&D these as I'm running in. I don't know if I do or not. Looks like a dancing rune weapon as I was running in. That's probably incorrect. I probably should have Death and Decayed here as I was running it and then dancing rune weapon because I know what's going to happen next is I'm going to want to D&D because I'll want to be heart striking as many things as possible. But I know I'll be struggling internally to find the time to get that GCD out. As well as I really want this, my Covenant ability, the Kyrian ability, to be on CD as fast as possible. But let's see how I play it. So here, at this point, I think I should have Vamp Blooded, but I doubt that I do. And I have a D&D proc that I can't use because I'm too busy trying to get Fret on everything. Oh, I do use it. Bold. See, I'm not entirely sure it was correct to use it there though. It probably was. I'm just in a situation right now where there's several things I want to do, all competing for my attention. Like, I want to D&D, I got that out. I want to use my Kyrian ability, but I don't want to die. I also want to, at some point, Marrow Round here to get up to 10 stacks, so I don't have to worry about this anymore. Let's see. Looks like I go for the Kyrian ability. That's my interrupt. Okay, so I have actually Vamp Blooded now, so that isn't as bad as I thought it would be. I think I Vamp Blooded just as these were coming in, so that's actually probably fine. I'm frantically trying to make sure these mobs aren't getting at my back. I think these three are, but they're just blight bags. Okay, what happened there? I got low. Another issue I'm having here is I really should have tombstoned. It won't matter for this pull, but like I have a really bad habit of just like not using this until I'm looking for my second dancing rune weapon. and it sort of snowballs. Like, it doesn't really matter on the first one, but it means on the second one, when I try to remember to do it, I'm waiting on Tombstone and Dancing Rune Weapon. But yeah, this looks reasonable. I definitely didn't blood tap. That's probably an issue. My death strikes are costing a lot because I haven't marrow rounded. I still haven't marrow rounded. There we go. Playing that. It's fine. Blood boiling. See, here I'm focused too much on heart striking, not enough on blood boil. Like, I'm sitting on 2 stacks of blood boil here, and I think blood boil is more damage on this amount of targets. That's one thing I just haven't been appreciating, is that, like, once I have my tier set stacked up, there's no real incentive to be heart striking over blood boiling, and debatably there isn't in the first place. Here we're just waiting for rogue shenanigans. But yeah, I definitely didn't blood boil nearly enough in there. I don't think anything else I did in that pull was majorly bad. I think it was mostly acceptable. I'm terrible at using Lichborn. I am using the conduit that makes Lichborn into like a small defensive, but I'd be surprised if I use this more than once this whole dungeon, which is not great. So like, here as we run in, I'm gonna run in and I'll use Dancing Rune Weapon on the boss to pull it. And I'll Blood Boil, which will hit the boss, plus I was hoping it would hit the soldiers. There, see that Vamp Blood? That was really, really, really late. Like, that Vamp Blood absolutely should have been used ahead of time. And possibly I should have IBF'd ahead of time anyway. Because, I mean, as we can see here, I've already used IBF, right? Like, I was going to use it anyway, and it was probably reasonable to expect that I was going to have to do that at some point anyway. So just using both of them together there, along with the Dancing Rune Weapon, might have given me enough of a safety margin to like build up the stacks I was looking to press. Because I still haven't used the Kyrian ability here, right? And I really wanted to when there was a lot of stuff out, and I just didn't have that window because I almost died twice. I do have Purgatory, so dying once would not be the end of the world, and that's why I'm probably playing a bit risky here, but I still think that was dumb. And of course, that's 2 instances we had where I died, and Lichborn is still not been used. I also notice here that even though I'm in a completely single target boss, I'm not using my ghoul. And I'm still not using blood tap. That's really, really bad. Because like you can see right now, I have 3 runes, but I mean here I'm doing some Kyrian shenanigans, but like before that, and I think I'll end up in that situation again. I have blood tap now, but like I definitely could have had blood tap like on cooldown, maybe gotten an extra blood tap, which would have extended this rune weapon even longer than however long it's going to last. Of course, it's fine now, right? Like if it falls off, I have another dancing rune weapon. Which I'm not using for reasons. There we go. I think I remember in this dungeon I wasn't 100% sure where to go next here, which is why I'm a little bit frazzled. I'm not showing voice comms because it's mostly a bunch of garbage, but I do essentially lead this group. So like in situations like this where I'm not sure where to go, I know that my own like just self play kind of goes to doo doo. Here, it's frustrating watching this. Like I have a lot of tools I could use to help myself out here. Like I could have tombstone there, not just the dancing rune weapon reset, but also just to get like the big shield. But now because I didn't do that, I'm not in a position to anymore. Like I could have, if I'd done that, I could dancing rune weapon right now and be completely fine. But because I didn't do that, I lost more bone shield stacks. Didn't get the shield from it, and then wasn't in a position to use Dancing Rune Weapon. So like this Rune Weapon is like so delayed for no reason. And again, an entire boss fight where Lichborn is just AFK on the bench. Looks like I did summon the goal at some point, so that's good at least. We're just commenting the boss here. So yeah, the big takeaway from that boss is I definitely shouldn't have pulled with just Dancing Rune Weapon. I'm pretty sure I also gave my back to the pack of mobs we were pulling there as I pulled 2. So like that definitely should have been, at the very least, I should have had one of them from the start. like either Vampiric Blood or Icebound Fortitude. More likely, since that's the only dangerous part of that boss, I probably should have had both, just sent them right. Like, there. I know I looked like I was dying, but I'm pretty sure I felt relatively safe there. Oh, Drain Fluid's cast going off. We hate it. That may have been my interrupt. Surely I don't let that cast on. That's. I know they both got disrupted, and one of them was even me death gripping, but like, man, do I just not see my interrupt off cooldown? Like, what am I doing? I would say that in my group, I'm probably the worst interrupter. Like, there are so many times where I'll say like, "Hey, I got the woe," and then a woe cast will just somehow go off later. I think that pull was mostly fine. I could definitely see their argument that I should have vamp blooded in it. Um, Probably, I don't know. The thing is, like, the pull we're about to do scares me, and I was probably almost definitely just like holding resources for it. But again, Lichborn. I also noticed that I'm on 2 stacks of blood tap again, and I would wager that I do not goal here. See here, like I 100% should have hit vamp blood already. Like I'm just being greedy for no reason here, and like I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get forced to do it at some point anyway, right? Like, and there's no incentive to hold it here because the next pull is 2 mobs, right? Actually, this goes. I'm gonna pause it when this happens, see what happens. This goes really badly. So I pull 2 mobs in, and then Death Burst happens on the. I would say she's out of that. I wonder if that's what killed her, actually, the frontal. Hmm. Yeah, I think my melee just died to the frontal there. We weren't sure. Like, we knew this went bad, but we didn't know why it went bad. I think my original intention was to pull these all the way back to Narzuda. But when I was running back, I noticed that Narzuda was, like, on the bridge. My hunter did come up with the suggestion that we should have him pull the mobs instead so that Narzuda stays still. But yeah, this wasn't it. Like, I'm just sitting here, I have no bone shield stacks, and I have 2 dangerous mobs just beating me. It's not great. I'm just sitting on the Kyrian ability. I'm not using the Kyrian ability here because I don't have Dancing Rune Weapon, but like honestly, just having a little bit more strength, a little bit more damage, and 8% DR on both of them probably wouldn't be bad. But here I'm just like struggling to get my runes together. Like I can't Marrow Rend. I really want to because I don't want to not have that up. But I'm just I don't know what I'm doing, man. That's just bad. I probably should have just like AFK'd there to try and get Marrow Rend back. Oh wow, I actually summoned the goal. That's I'm actually quite happy with that. Alright, Rogue's going to do boss shenanigans. And the intent here is to grip this as the trap is in the air. Yeah, there we go. Okay. I'm not dancing rune weaponing here because I know the next pull is kinda scary for me. But because I'm not dancing rune weaponing here, I should be using something. Right? Like, even the Kyrian ability would only be a 40-second CD, and I'm not going to be able to get that out right away on the pull we're about to do anyway. Again, I don't like situations like this where I'm just sitting on like no stacks of bone shield for just no real reason. I need to figure out something to do about that because it's not an uncommon occurrence. I think part of it is because when I have Dancing Rune Whip and I try to game it, because you get 9 stacks when you do it with that. So I'm trying to run low so that I can Dancing Rune Weapon without overcapping, but let's see. Okay, here this is real dumb. Okay, I'm sitting here, I have every defensive in the world available and I'm using precisely none of them. Like no reason. Like if I'm not going to use defensives on this, like what am I going to use them on, you know? Like even if this goes perfectly well, which I mean, I wouldn't say it's going perfectly well, but it's going fine. But like that would just be so much safer if I had just like vamp blooded, you know. Like, and there was no reason not to. Yeah, and see there I've just forced like GS for my healer because I think I let a bunch of those mobs hit me in the back when I was trying to pull them in. And I also think I was trying to death strike and I wasn't in range of what I was trying to death strike. And I do have a macro that will just death strike the nearest target if I'm not in range of what I am targeting, but for whatever reason it just didn't seem to want to work on that one. But not a huge deal there, just I really, really, really should not just like count on Dancing Rune Weapon as a defensive for that kind of thing. Because a lot of those casts there can't actually be parried, right? Like I can't carry or parry the magic attacks, or I don't believe I can parry the bone flays. And even so, like it's kind of chaotic when you're running mobs up, right? Like something could help, like any kind of defensive there, like Lichborn, IBF. I know Vamp Blood isn't a DR, but it'd still be useful. And it's still, regardless, it's still dumb to use nothing. Huh. I don't know why I didn't Dancing Rune Weapon on the pole there. I've been finding that if I Dancing Rune Weapon on the pole, it it's very helpful for maintaining threat because I get the like super blood boil as I'm running in. So here we're looking to CC two mobs and bring in the crossbowman. So yoink. Not sure why I'm not death striking here. This weak aura, hopefully my cursor at the top where it's a sort of like yellow bar. It's too big here. I've made it smaller since, but oh, what's going on here? I think I've stunned this. Yeah, okay. The weak aura indicates that I'm low enough health that I should be death striking. So I don't know what I was doing there, just not doing it. Try to AMZ here. Yeah, that yellow one up there. Still not bad. Got my crossbowman, taunted the last warrior. D&D's down. Again, right? Like nothing really bad is happening, but like, why not Vamp Blood? Okay, I've done it now, but like, why not do it when I first brought the mobs in, right? When things were actually dangerous. That was my kick I just missed. It was definitely my kick. That was really awkward. So it's not super clear what happened there, but turned out one of those ads broke free. I think we wipe here, but I get the Beerus on Zenium so that we don't have to, or Zenpai, so that we don't need to run back. Did we not heroes him? I wonder. We probably didn't have it right on pull. Because I know that was the case on the 23 that we did after this. I think we went for food buff here because it's just about not dying, right? Like in Necrotic Wake, like the dungeon's mostly gonna kill itself as long as you just don't die. Man, I didn't go for the Augment Rune. That's kinda weak. Okay. So we're back. Trying to get value out of the curing ability by just spreading the dot around and getting rune refreshes. Trying to get stacks in preparation for the first set of ads. I think just in response, because I know my attention to my rotation is gonna go away here. Like you can see, I have no stacks of bone shield just because I'm looking for the thing I have to death grip. Do I really not? Alright, come on, man. Come on. Okay, we Marrow rounded at long last. Regardless, the point is I should be using something as those ads are spawning because I know that I'm going to be paying more attention to like what ad I'm gripping rather than like my own personal like death strikes and stuff. AMC's down just for the dot from the boss, or the. I mean, it is a damage over time, but it's not a dot per se. I move out of that swirly. That's good. So again, here, like as soon as these have all spawned, I should probably IBF. I also should have my goal out, right? I'm just giving up like single target damage for no reason there. Oh, I summoned them. We're actually quite happy about that. I need to. I don't know the answer to this question, but I need to find out if Death Strike is more damage than Heart Strike. I suspect in the instance there where there's multiple mobs and I'm getting Heart Strike on all of them, Heart Strike is probably more damage, but I'm definitely like look at the situation, right? Like okay, well I was gonna say do I need to Death Strike? No, but could I? Yes, but then I took a bunch of damage. But yeah, I need to figure out which one of them is more single target damage. I suspect it's probably Death Strike. But I need to figure that out and like learn it for myself. Again, in a situation here where like, man, oh man, should I ever be tombstoning? But I don't know that I will. I finally did, but look how late it was, right? Like, and now the next like say I dancing rune weapon when it comes up here, tombstone will still be on CD for like 48 seconds, right? Which is not great. Please dancing rune weapon. I actually might hold it here because I know that upstairs I'm doing a double pull. So no, I didn't. Mm. I really wish I was using Lichborn because like I know what I'm thinking here. I'm thinking like upstairs is dangerous. I probably don't want to use too much, but like it would cost me nothing to Lichborn there, you know. I think this pull upstairs goes wrong. I'm not sure why. So depending on where the pat is, we're gonna try and get all the little hands in first and just do them. I used to be a bear and I would roar these, but I can't do that anymore. So I need to figure out like a good way to get these to not just tunnel people down. Because they'll just go for anyone, right? Because they fixate. But if they're disrupted, they'll all go for me. I think I call for a Shadow Fury. Maybe I should just like get the Shadow Fury right away. So here I'm just waiting for the pat to get close to the second one so that we can double pull. Trying to mark everything, call it interrupts. Not having Dancing Rune Weapon here is very, very scary. Man. How am I not using IBF here? Like, what is... Man. Well, now I know what went wrong with that pull. It turns out I'm a complete idiot. That's... So, I definitely knew that I didn't have Dancing Rune Weapon. Pretty sure. And I just ran in there, no bone shields. Not only did I have no bone shields, I never felt safe enough to actually just hit Marrowrend, so I never got bone shields. Didn't IBF, didn't rune tap, didn't Lich Warren. That's just very weak play on my end. Can't, cannot tank that amount of mobs without defensives. Probably can't do that pull even with defensives. Doing that without bone shield, probably not smart, right? I don't actually know that. Let me think how I'm trying to or what I'm trying to say. I think that even if I had used defensive there, that pull would have been a bad idea. It would have been a better idea to either do one at a time or to distract and wait for Dancing Rune Weapon. But either way, even if I had Dancing Rune Weapon, definitely needed to defensive it. Ugh. I'm glad I watched this now because that's really bad. Like I remember at the time too, I had no idea why that pull went so bad. I had no idea why I was in so much danger. And then like on the rewatch, it's so obvious, right? Like no bone shields, no CDs, just very silly. I hate this pack. I'm not sure what to do about that pack too, right? Because can't tank the soldier on top of the corpse harvester. I think I didn't notice that the corpse harvester from the like when we previously pulled this was dead, or I would have merged quicker. But yeah, that pull where the soldier is inspired and there's a corpse harvester that needs to be interrupted is just it's inspiring, right? Like, what are you gonna do? Okay, I'm trying not to let that soldier get my back. I think I feel relatively safe here because it's ultimately just a couple of melee boys. Still not using Tombstone. Also sitting on 2 stacks. I wonder why I'm not using Tombstone here, because I definitely want Dancing Rune Weapon back. I wonder if it's possible that I haven't realized it's fallen off. It's also possible I realized and just wanted it at the start of this pull rather than the end of that one, but... Oh, this is peak DK performance right here, running in, almost dying, not using IBF. I know I said I wasn't going to comment on it, but my hunter is learning survival, and he's discovering just a bunch of melee mechanics that he never... What happens here? Like, how? Like, I remember this happened in the key, that, like, my priest just dies here, like, somehow the needle gets threaded. Ugh. Yeah, I remember this being brutal. I did at least use IBF. See, again, like, my not using Tombstone is just... It's coming back to haunt me so much, right? Like, this... Because the hero died, this was, like, so scary, but... It's not because the healer died, right? It's because I didn't use Tombstone and I didn't have Dancing Rune Weapon for when the healer died. So it's like, it's easy to misattribute what went wrong there. Because, like, from my perspective in this key, this pull was hard because my healer died. But on the rewatch, this pull was hard because I didn't use Tombstone and therefore didn't have Dancing Rune Weapon. Yeah, there's no shot I use Dancing Rune Weapon this late into it. It's my drop first on the collector. Again, not using Tombstone. Something of a recurring theme. Excuse me. I think if I recall correctly, I die during this pull because I feel like I get pinched in with quaking. I can't remember if it was this one or if it was the 23, but I'm curious to know if that's that. Yeah. So like I died there. That's the diff I was talking about. Um, I think it was my fault because I hit the person I was trying not to hit anyway. So given that I hit them and it was fine, I probably should have just committed to hitting them because I think the thing that killed me was running into the green, which I intentionally did to try and avoid hitting them. It's not like I was surprised that I ran into the green there. Could have also, used a defensive, but nah. CC shenanigans. We didn't actually mean to get these relics here. If we do this right, the relics don't come, but I think I was the one that messed up there. It's like we'd rather get a Vi on the next boss, but messed up. Why am I not running? Okay, there we go. I run weapons. I mean, there's not terribly much that can go wrong for me on this particular pull. I do see that I'm capped on blood taps again. Like that could easily just blood tap, and I wouldn't have lost Dancing Rune Weapon there. And again, I once again find myself in the situation where I know I probably want Dancing Rune Weapon, but I'm just sitting on Tombstone. Or it's doubly bad here too, because you have to imagine that the Tombstone would get reduced by the herb bonus, but because I haven't used it. And like, I know it's not a huge deal to not have Dancing Rune Weapon on this pull, right? Like, I get that, but it's just any extra healing that I take is less damage that my healer is doing, and thus slowing down the key. Also, not having Dancing Rune Weapon means I'm doing substantially less damage. So, just lots of... Even if it's not like, oh, I died here because of something, just, it's still, I would say, basically equally important to optimize. I didn't know this at the time, but I've since realised that I can stun and grip the Spine Crush to make things a lot easier for melee. But man, we're Bone Shield. Okay, we got Bone Shield. See, I know for a fact that all I'm thinking about right now is like, man, I'm losing Dancing Rune Weapon. I need to Heart Strike. But like, I could just IBF, you know? And like Dancing Rune Weapon wouldn't even be a huge issue there because I kept it going long enough that Tombstone would have put me in a new one. That would require, of course, actually using Tombstone, which appears to be a big issue for me. Hmm. I know here I don't want to Dancing Rune Weapon again, because I know that if I go into the next pull without Dancing Rune Weapon, I won't be able to hold for it. Where am I going? What am I doing? Oh, this is actually the end of the key. We decided at this point that we couldn't time the key and we'd rather do it as a 23 because that was still IO. So, okay, there's several important things I realized during this key. The first one, obviously, Lichborn, almost never used. I'm just giving up like 10%, like 11% DR and Leech for just no reason. So I need to work on that. I like non-negotiably must start getting into the habit of like when I Dancing Rune Weapon, I have more time than I think. I need to start getting the tombstones out, and I need to start like cycling through the blood taps. I know that I looked at the logs after this pull, and after this dungeon, and it was like I rune tapped like 8 times over the course of what was that, 28 minutes, and that's a 1 minute baseline cooldown, but it's actually a lot lower than that because of the refunds you get. So like 8 times over 28 minutes, that is not. I think my blood boil usage was slightly better than I expected, but still pretty bad. And man, my vampire blood usage and my Iceman fortitude are beyond a joke, right? Like there's no excuse for that. That just has to get better. So better with defensives, better at cycling Tombstone to keep Dancing Rune Weapon going, and better at cycling Blood Tap. I think that's my main takeaways from this key.